Hello, and welcome to the Hypno Fairy Godmother Show. I am Shirley, clinical hypnotherapist, advocate, and mental health first responder here at Whispering Zen Hypnotherapy. Thank you so much for showing up to my radio show, where you can come as you are and leave as you want to be. Do you wish to become, a little more freely to enjoy a habit, or just get back to feeling more like you? Then let's talk. And although I do specialize working with the LGBTQIA community, I welcome and I work with everyone. So if you need help, I'm here to help. I'm always here. So you can book a session or contact me anytime at whisperingzenhypnotherapy.com. Thank you so much again for joining the new improved Hypno Fairy Godmother Show, which I'm on all kinds of different social media outlets. There's a million ways to get a hold of me, and I love that. So yeah, once again, just Hypno Fairy Godmother or whisperingzenhypnotherapy.com, or pretty much any way you want to get to know me. So before we get going, if you're new, if you're not new, then you know how this goes. Everybody needs to be in a nice, safe place. And by safe place, I mean not driving a car, not working on a special project, not trying to handle things at work, nothing like that. It's just, you in a safe place. Because I have been known to talk people, into closing their eyes and things like that. And I don't want that to happen. So, safe place. And I got this from a friend of mine. He lets me use it. I've kind of tweaked it a little bit. So, and I love this. So we're going to start out today by just taking a nice deep breath. Holding it. And exhaling with a smile, because that's how you should start everything. Just deep breaths, mental health. It's all about this. And next thing I want you to do is I want you to wiggle your toes. Yep, I said it. Wiggle those toes. Let's get the circulation moving. Next thing I want you to do is, in fact, wiggle your butt. Yep, I said it. Wiggle your butt. Get those cheeks moving, because you cannot do this without smiling, wiggling those cheeks. I love it. So the last thing I want you to do is remember to take that one more nice deep breath and exhale with an affirmation. And by an affirmation, I just mean some way to keep you going. Some way to I got this. We're going to be okay. Everything's going to be great. I like to use I got this, because sometimes I need to just get through the day or the week or maybe just the next hour. Who knows? Little things like this. So it's so important that you give yourself these affirmations and you talk nice to yourself. And part of today is about talking nice to yourself. So if you've got an extra minute, I want you to kind of move your feet around, maybe roll yourself around in the middle, roll your shoulders, maybe your neck. Oh yeah, let's get this moving. Get the blood circulating, getting everything flowing. Oh yeah. So, and just think, in this short amount of time, you have actually, worked from your toes to your nose. You've loosened everything up, and it's wonderful. So, if you'd like to help out and become a sponsor of the show, or just buy me a cup of coffee, because if you know anything about me, you know that my world revolves around, caffeine and mental health. So, you can always do that, becoming a Patreon, and just look under Hypno Fairy Godmother. Or, like I said, contact me at whisperingzenhypnotherapy.com or whisperingzenhypnosis.com. So, as we have talked before many times, I am a hypnotherapist, and I love talking about mental health, how to maintain it. So we're going to try something a little bit different today, to kind of inspire you a little bit. Take every opportunity to kind of smile, give you different ways of looking at things and acting things. And all of this is just a part of Weeble Kung Fu. The ancient art of you may wobble a little bit, you may get a little off center, but you will always get yourself right back in the middle. And that's part of mindfulness, is not thinking too much in the past, not thinking too much in the future, but just being good to where you are right now. Mindfulness is a wonderful, wonderful thing, and I love it, but today I'm going to bring you the law of attraction, what it is, how does it affect your mental health, whether it's negative, positive, how you look at it. And I know there are a lot of people that specialize in the law of attraction. A lot of hypnotherapists do, a lot of regular therapists do, and they may not really appreciate my kind of abbreviated shorthand of this, but to actually go into it really in depth, we would need so much more than an hour. So this is kind of the abbreviated version of, if you kind of want to start working with the law of attraction, then, it can help you get started on maybe your journey into this. And if you either read or saw the movie The Secret, it focuses on the law of attraction. And it breaks it all down. And what it boils down to, honestly, is if you put out positive energy, and positive thinking, you will get that back to you. And, whatever your little heart desires. And it's true that it might be a little harder than that, but this is the basics. And like I said, sometimes when you're dealing with the basics, you kind of got to break it down. So first, from a mental health standpoint, I always recommend you start out every day and every event and everything that you're doing with a positive outlook. And if you're thinking you're going to fail, well, then you kind of already dooming whatever it is. It's dooming your project. And that's never a good way to start. It's not a good way to start a project or a work day or an assignment or anything like that. So always think of the positive side. And a big part of law of attraction is the art of positive thinking. Going into it, looking in that positive framework, that sense of, we've got this, that sense of you're ready, you're thinking positive. But here's the tricky part that people don't always consider when it comes to the law of attraction, is that you have to actually be working towards the goal. You can't just think positive thoughts and they'll just, boom, come true. And people tend to miss that point, that, you actually have to be working towards your goal. It's not some magical spell that you can do and just think happy thoughts and happy thoughts will come back to you. I would love it if that was that way and it was nice and easy and, things like that. But that's okay. We all have to start somewhere. And, when you're thinking about it from a positive point of view, it's a great way to start. And when you look up law of attraction, you can find 3, 5, 7 laws, and it can be really confusing sometimes. What are you supposed to do? And a lot of these are things like attracts like, or the present is always perfect. Know what you truly want, and it'll get you one step closer. Focusing on gratitude, focusing on positive self-talk. Be intentional with your communication. Be intentional. Sometimes we wish for things and we're all just looking at the grand picture. I want to do this. Well, sometimes you got to be a little more specific, because how you get there determines how things are going. Accountability is the key when it comes to law of attraction. And There are things like it can also be known as the law of manifestation or the law of unwavering desire, the law of delicate balance, maybe the law of universal influence. Like I said, depending on what you're looking up, it depends on what specific laws you may have to deal with and what specific laws things may, what it looks like. Um, Everybody has a slightly different take. So, depending on who you're following, will depend on what their specific law of attraction is, what rules they follow. And you can talk to 5, 6 people, and they will all give you different outlooks on this and different laws of attraction. So the first concept to actually wrap around your, understanding of the fundamentals is the law of vibration. Now, the law of vibration is knowing that every single thing, from the largest stars and planets in space, all the way down to the tiniest little grain of sand, are constantly in vibration. They're constantly moving. So, although things may look solid, because they're made of a bunch of little atoms, they are constantly moving. Everything is in motion. And I understand that this is going to be a little woo woo for some people. And I'm not trying to do that. But in this case, I trust the science, and that's what the scientists say is that everything is in constant movement, everything is in constant vibration. And that's perfect, to know that things are moving, things are constantly rotating. And if you're trying this for the first time, I recommend that you start with something small but powerful. Remember, when we talk about getting better, we have to start with something small and concise, little goals that are actually totally achievable, other than one gigantic goal that is easier to give up on. When we talk about resolutions, when we talk about, however you're doing, however you're working on your mental health, it's better to talk about little tiny goals because, break it down. I know we all have one huge, gigantic dream that we love and we want to happen immediately. I know I do. I totally do. And that's okay, but I've had to sometimes break it down a little bit and go, okay, I'm not going to achieve this gigantic thing all at once. So if I break it down to smaller little individual things, then I can focus on that and then move on to the next thing. Like I had this grand idea for a project and I wish that I could just do it immediately. Well, didn't work the first time. Didn't work the second or the third time. But you know what? I broke it down and I realized by breaking it down what I was doing wrong. So I didn't just hang my hopes on the big thing that it would work every single time. I broke it down and realized that didn't work and that didn't work. But wait a second. If I break it down just a little bit further, I can achieve what I'm going for. And it's still not perfect, but I am a million times closer than I was before. And that's what it's about. Remember that when you start with these smaller goals, it's gonna make you not want to give up. And that's what it's about. Because if you give up really fast, then it doesn't matter how great your thinking is. It doesn't matter how much you believe in the law of attraction. If you've already started to give up, then, Not a good thing. And also, when you're looking at the law of attraction, it doesn't have to be a thing that you're striving for. You can use it for positive personal growth. You can use it for your personal well-being, little steps that you're taking to take better care of you. And we've talked about these things because, I'm all about mental health. And at times, having peace of mind is worth more than $1 million. It's worth more than whatever it is that you're striving for. So, using the law of attraction to bring you better mental health and bring you better well-being, think of how amazing that is. Think of how wonderful that just having that little peace of mind. And that's why I started working with the law of attraction, to be honest with you. It wasn't just something that I was looking for a big thing. I was actually looking to work on my mental health. And I had a mentor who who taught me all about the break it down, the totally break it down people. And that helped. Pick something that means the most for you. Pick something about your well being that nourishes your soul, and move closer, that helps you move closer to being the more authentic you. Remember, that's what it's about. The law of attraction can work just as well for your mental well being as it is for you getting something successful or something monetary or something tangible. Look at it as a way of being that more authentic you and the power inside of you and watching it grow. I believe that we all have that inside of us. And, I like to say that I use my powers for good and not evil. And that's what the law of attraction is kind of about. It's about if you start with a positive attitude and you start with your small goals, you are using your mental health, your well-being, your positive thoughts for good. And when you're doing that, it's amazing what that can do for you. It's keeping your mental health in check. And right now we're going through so much with, the outside world that we have no control over, that the best thing you can do is work on you. And it's not easy because most of us aren't used to putting ourselves first. Most of us are just we're used to putting everybody else first. We're used to wondering, looking at the big picture and using your powers that you should be using for yourself, using them for someone else. You're in control of your own destiny. You're in control of everything that happens. You may not have control of the outside world. None of us do. But you have control of you. You have control of your little space. And whether you have a large family, whether you're a part of a couple, whether you're alone, and it doesn't matter. You have to take care of you and be in control of your destiny. Be in control of who you are. There's a wonderful acronym called FEAR. And what fear is false evidence appearing as real. Don't do that. Don't let your fear overtake it, because it is false evidence pretending to be real. It's not. Believe in you. Believe in what you can do. Give yourself that positive attitude before you start something. Do the breathing before you start. Make all your lists if you need to. Break things down if you need to. Like everything else, this is a process. And you don't have to, become the top inspirational speaker of all times. This is just little steps that you can do that maybe inspires others to be better than themselves. That's what I try to do with you every week. Is I like to, inspire you to know how important you are. Inspire you to, feel that you are able to manifest positive, that you can live in harmony, that, you have influence over yourself. Little steps, one step at a time, doing stuff every day to nourish your soul. And we've talked about nourishing your soul. And that's what it's about. Take time to think of yourself in a more meaningful way. Do something that you've been wanting to do. Trying something that you've been wanting to try. My little project that I was trying to do, that I started out with the great big picture and realized I really needed to break it down. Really needed to break it down because I was thinking too big. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be able to handle my big project. I'll get there, but I had to break it down because what it was doing, instead of nourishing my soul, it was kind of like knocking on that fear. It was like, if I had tried it once and it didn't work, then where would I be? If you try something once and it doesn't work, then what you do is you just take note of it and you go, okay, that didn't work. And you try it again, a little bit different, kind of tweak your idea. That's okay, to do it that way. And the more you do it, the better you're going to feel inside. Now, on my 5th try, that's right, 5th try, I got something that I actually liked. Now, if I'd have stopped at my 1st try, I had to go back and think about the law of attraction. Was I starting out on a positive note? Or did I start out thinking, this is so not going to work? This is not going to work. And we let fear overtake us. We let fear overtake us every single time. So you need to step back. Step back. What are you missing? Are you missing something inside of you? Do you need to get a little more assistance? And the thing about the law of attraction is that it's not always about doing everything on your own. Like I said, I had a mentor that kind of helped me through. It kind of helped me figure out what was I missing? What was the little thing I was missing to make it so everything was better? And honestly, it did help nourish my soul because it was something that wasn't earth-shattering. It wasn't going to change the world, but it was something that meant something to me. I'm at a wonderful advantage to where, for the most part, I work from home. And so I have a little bit more time to work on myself. But, if you work in an office or a cubicle or, wherever you work, think of this law of attraction of starting every day, doing your deep breathing. We all know how I feel about deep breathing. That's why we start and end with the show with lots of deep breathing. And, and taking care of you. I like to say that if you don't have 5 minutes for yourself, you probably need an hour or more. You need to take time for you. You need to take time to understand that it's all right. And you can use the law of attraction as well as using it for random acts of kindness. You're doing something for somebody else, and it's bringing back joy to you. Because when you do something nice for somebody else, you're not just doing it for them. Now, are you doing it for recognition? Might be the wrong reason that you're trying this. But if you're doing it just to make you feel better, and it's just between you and another person, and I follow a group. Actually, I follow lots of groups, but this one particular group that I follow, One of the things that they like to do is they go to the specific grocery store and they have a tendency to pick up a little bouquet of flowers. And at the end of their shopping trip, they give this little bouquet of flowers to somebody at the store that they think may need a pick me up. They're not doing it for recognition, they're doing it to help another human being, a random act of kindness, a way of seeing things, a way of being closer to themselves, a way of doing something nice, a thing that would make somebody else's day. And you can do it in person, you can do it online, you can just walk up to somebody and go, you know what? I really like your hair today. That's a nice shirt. Just a wonderful act of kindness, and it's also about checking in with yourself. How am I doing today? How am I feeling today? Keeping yourself mentally stronger, keeping yourself, keeping yourself happy, keeping yourself, keeping yourself wonderful, taking care of you while you're taking care of somebody else. And if you feel yourself starting to slide, that's okay. We back up, we take a deep breath, we get help when we need it, whether we need a counselor, whether we need to go see our doctor, whether we just need to talk to a friend. Sometimes you just need to talk to a friend. You just need to vent. Sometimes you just need to work it out with somebody. I have a couple people in my life that if things start to get a little rattly and my brain starts to go a little crazy, that I can call and I can go, okay, I just need to talk it out. Don't need advice. Don't need you to tell me what to do. Sometimes if I don't need to actually talk to a person, I have my dog. My dog's a great listener. Not a lot of feedback, but that's all right, And sometimes I feel like, when it comes to the law of attraction, I know it may sound weird relating that to a dog, but what did I need at that moment? What did I find? It was a little thing. My dog's kind of a therapy dog. So if I'm having a really bad day, she tends to know and she'll jump up on my lap. And if my wife is having a bad day, she'll jump up on her lap. And we're attracting that. We're finding that thing or that person that we need. We're finding that thing, that part of, I love using the phrase Weeble Kung Fu. Because what Weeble Kung Fu, like I said, is if you're starting to slide just a little bit and you feel like your world's going a little topsy-turvy, Weebles are this little toy that rolls itself back on its butt, basically. You get you back in center, straighten yourself out, and kind of sometimes will give you that do-over. That's not giving up. That's thinking about you. It's knowing that if you start to slide, that you're okay. You're gonna be fine. All the little tips and tricks in your toolbox. Your breathing. Your 4, 3, 2, 1s that we'll go over later. Your self-compassion pause. All of that is law of attraction because you know that you have it in you. You know that you have a way of making yourself feel better. Is it the law of manifestation? What are you manifesting? Are you manifesting something good? Are you manifesting just being able to breathe? And, sometimes being able to breathe, it's just the most wonderful, wonderful thing. Because we know that when you breathe, you're slowing your heart rate down. You're slowing your breathing down. Your blood pressure's going down. You're manifesting that. You're attracting that to yourself. Think of it I like to think of it as the law of harmony, bringing that harmony to yourself, bringing that wonderfulness. And there are people that are totally going to disagree with me. I know that for a fact. There are people that are like, no, I read the book or I saw the movie, and that is not what they said. That is absolutely not what they said. And that's fine. We're all allowed to have our opinion. Like I said, this is kind of an overview of how I personally, your Hypno Fairy Godmother, looks at the law of attraction. That's how I look at it. That's how I feel about it. And that's okay. How you look at it might be totally different. You may have seen the book or read the book, seen the movie, and they tell you that there are these laws that you need to follow and these things that you need to do. But remember, it's not magic. It's you have to work towards your goals. You have to work towards your personal harmony. You have to work towards your balance. You have to work for that unwavering desire, that right of action, that magnetism or manifestation. You have to do the little things that you need to do to make it happen, to make it work. And I know you can. I know you can. And the reason why I know you can is because I've been able to do it. And, I'm one of those people that, I'm not going to tell you to do something that I won't actually do, or I haven't tried to do, or I haven't wanted to do. But once again, this is how I look at it. This is not how everybody looks at it. Knowing that the law of attraction, you may wish for a new car. That's a tangible thing. But how are you going to get there? You may need to start by, saving just a little bit each day. You may need to do that by upping your credit score by just a little bit each time. Instead of just going, I want a car, and boom, it happens. Doesn't work that way. Maybe you need to start with little things. And that's why I tell you that it doesn't have to be an object. It can just be, I want harmony in my life. I want a half hour of peace every week where I can just be with me. How amazing would that be? How absolutely amazing would that be? That you can find that in yourself. That you can do that. While we're keeping ourselves in check mentally, while we're bringing ourselves back to center. I look at law of attraction and mindfulness as really close to the same thing, because mindfulness is bringing yourself back to center. It's accomplishing what you need to do and being focused on what your plans are. Well, law of attraction is basically writing down what it is that you want, writing down what your goals are and what your needs are. And it's fabulous. You are in control. I can't say that enough. You're in control. You have to start out each project with a positive attitude. You have to start out each project maybe doing a little more research. For the little project that I was trying to do, I thought I had done enough research. Well, as it turns out, I had done my research, but what I didn't realize was that I missed a step. I missed a huge step. I had everything written down, but I missed one step. Had to go back, figure it out, and work it again. So, if you're starting a new project, if you're starting trying to get to be the best you possible, if you miss a step, it's okay. You can always go back and fill it in. This is not an all or nothing sum game. This is never an all or nothing. This is little steps, little tiny steps, taking care of you, throwing in some concentrated meditation, throwing in some you time. We love you time. Doing random acts of kindness. There are still first responders and our nurses and our doctors that still are just working themselves because there are still people overloaded in hospitals. When all of this started, all of this pandemic started, we celebrated our nurses and our doctors. We celebrated our first responders. And somehow we got out of that. And I have friends that are still nurses. And, they kind of wonder what happened. What happened? And what happened was somehow we forgot about it. We need to go back to these random acts of kindness because those are things that will nourish your soul. Checking in on a neighbor to see how they're doing if you haven't heard from them for a while. If you've got a neighbor that maybe needs some help, check in with them. What if you need some help? Check in with your doctor. Check in with a therapist. Check in with a talk helpline or a chat helpline if you don't feel comfortable talking to somebody. There are places out there, and I would love it if you contact me. I'm always here for you. I'll always be here for you. But, if you need something else, then that's fine as long as you're taking care of you and you're doing things to help manifest you. And although we're kind of in the middle of February, middle to the end of February, I know people that are just now starting their New Year's resolution. It's never too late. I always tell you that it doesn't have to start on a Monday. It didn't have to start on January 1st. If you decide on a weird Tuesday, tomorrow is actually 2/22/22. If you know me, I got this thing with numbers. And that may be the perfect day to start this new law of attraction, this new goal towards harmony. It's never too late. It's never too late to start taking care of you. It's never too late to think about somebody else. Mental illness, mental wellness, not mental illness, but mental wellness is the best way to start to inspire others because it shows that you care enough about you to take care of you. And then you can take care of somebody else. You can take care of, other people. Get outside. See the world around you. See the block around you. If you still live, or if you have a reason that you still need to take precautions, and every state, every city has different rules, but it doesn't mean that you can't go out. It doesn't mean that you can't work on you and you can't become a better you. What does this have to do with the law of attraction? It has everything to do with the law of attraction because you're taking care of you. You're manifesting what you need. And if what you need is to get out, and what you need is some fresh air, and what you need, is all of this. That's what you need. You need to be able to take care of you. You need to be able to know that it's okay. That it's gonna be fine. And I encourage you to take breaks. I encourage you to take time for yourself. I encourage you to start little crazy projects. Did you see it on YouTube? Did you see it on a TikTok? Did you see it on a YouTube video? Did something little inspire you? I was inspired by somebody who I thought, oh my God, they did this. Maybe I can do this too. But you start with the little steps. We're never going to get everything the first time, but you keep working forward. You keep attracting positive. Every time you go into it. I've been working on a project for like 6 months now. Still don't have it all the way down. And it's frustrating. But I have a whole list of things that didn't work. Perfect. Because you know what? That means I'm one step closer to making it happen. I am one step closer to getting it down. Sometimes when we start something, whether it's taking care of us or taking care of something else, it's easy to get frustrated. That's why I always tell you, start with a positive attitude and start small, achievable goals. That's what the law of attraction is about. It's about working towards achievable goals. And if you don't agree with me, okay, I'm good with that. Because you have to do what's best for you. You have to do what you need to do. I put these things out for you every week, and I hope that you listen, and I hope that you take advantage of them. You might write them down. You may want to re-listen to the show because, it's always on my Facebook page at, Hypno Fairy Godmother. It's always on my YouTube page at, guess what? Hypno Fairy Godmother. You can always re-listen. You can always close your eyes and not watch, but maybe just listen and absorb and go, I can do this. I can take note of my mental space. I can take note of how I'm doing. One of my favorite things is, asking yourself, how am I doing right now? How am I doing? It's checking in with yourself, and if you do it once a day, if you do it 10 times a day, you know what? That's bringing mental awareness to yourself. That's asking yourself, how am I doing? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it kind of in between? Sometimes, every day doesn't have to be, I'm walking on sunshine and clouds and butterflies. Sometimes you check in with yourself and you go, ugh, not having a great day. But that's all right. You know that. You're aware of that. Everything's going to be okay. We start out each day brand new, taking care of ourselves, taking care of our mental health, taking care of our mental wealth, and if you need help with your mental health, then take care of that first. Don't work on a project, make that project you. That's the most important project that you can work on. Because sometimes we get overwhelmed with too many things happening, too many things going on in our minds, and we kind of forget the little stuff. We forget to take care of us. And you can't forget to take care of you. You can't. So many things are out there, so many stressful things, that it's easy to forget about you. You're taking care of your family. You're taking care of a project at work, maybe. You're taking care of clients. You're taking care of everything. You've got the world on your shoulders, and you forget about you. You cannot forget about you. Most important thing you can get out of all of this is you have to take care of you. And it's not easy. Oh, my Lord, it is not easy. Because we're not used to it. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to taking care of me. I'm one of those people that will take care of everybody else in the universe, will give my all to help somebody in need. And you know what? I forget to take care of me. And you need to remember to take care of you. You need to remember that whether you have a mental illness, a physical illness, something chronic, something new, if your law of attraction is just getting yourself better by going to a doctor or a therapist or someone else, that's the best first step that you can take. It's the best thing you can do. If you're feeling in need, get some help. If you feel like you're starting to slide, that's okay. You're taking care of you. That's why I repost everything. That's why I let you know that I'm always here. I'm on pretty much every social network that you can have. I have text with people for hours to make sure that they're okay. I have messaged with people for hours to make sure that they're okay. This is part of what I do. This is a part of what a lot of therapists do. Granted, I'm a hypnotherapist. I would prefer to help you that way, but that's all right. I'm also a counselor and a coach. I'm here to make sure that you're okay. I'm here to make sure that you know that there are mental health professionals out there that will look at things the way you do. Now, not all of them will. I have worked with therapists before that I had zero connection with. It's all right. That's not the right one for you. Don't ever feel obligated like you have to do this, because remember, you have to take care of you. Are you checking in with yourself? Are you asking yourself, am I here today? How am I doing right now? Am I here mentally? Am I here physically? Are you making contact with yourself? Give yourself a hug. It's all right. Give yourself a hug. I know that sounds like the strangest thing in the world, but when you do that, how does that make you feel? Are you slowing your breathing down? Are you slowing your heart rate down? Are you beginning to love yourself? Maybe the greatest part of law of attraction that you get out of this is that what you're manifesting to take care of you. And it's, unbelievable. It's asking yourself how you're doing. It's taking care of your breathing. It's feeling how that breathing is affecting the rest of your life. Invigorate yourself. Listen to something that's inspiring. Make art. Question things. Tinker. Just do what you need to do. Zig instead of zag. Follow your dreams. And I know that keeping a quiet mind while you're doing this is so challenging. But that's okay, because thoughts go in and out all the time. You make note of them and you move on. Especially if they're negative thoughts. If that thought that passes through your head is, I'm never going to get this, go, okay, got it. Acknowledge it. Remember where it came from and go, okay, I've observed it. I understand it. And I need to go. I need to move on. Don't repress your feelings. Experience them. And then let them go. You don't need to hang on to stuff. You're human. We have to have feelings. Just watch the feedback loop. Is it a positive feedback loop? Is it a negative feedback loop? It's so important. And remember, I put these things out for you because we're trying to make it through the day. We're trying to make it through the next hour. Sometimes that's what you need to do to help keep yourself mentally stronger. Use the breathing exercises that I always talk about. If you feel yourself starting to slide, that's okay. Take care of you first. I encourage you, take your breaks, leave your house, take a walk, read a book, watch a funny video. And yes, tinker on little things, start projects, go hammer something, go build something, go find yourself and make yourself a little altar, a place of zen where you can be alone. And one of the things that I want to make sure that I say before I go is, if Miss Noelle, Miss Sister Katie McKiltlifter is still out there listening, happy birthday. I did take notice. Okay? So I want to thank you for listening today. It has been my pure pleasure to be even a small part of your journey. And I hope that it's been a little calming, maybe a little soothing, maybe you got something out of it, maybe I made you smile. But I want you to know, and I hope that wherever you are, you're a little bit closer to becoming that perfect person of who you really want to be. I'm Shirley, clinical hypnotherapist, activist, mental health first responder, and Whispering Zen Hypnotherapy and Wellness. And I work together with my clients, maybe you, and we work as a team to find a way to get you back to being the best possible you. And I work online so I can be wherever you are. I can be where you are and where you need me. And I understand that hypnosis isn't for everybody, but maybe we can work together. You never know. Again, one last time, Shirley, clinical hypnotherapist. You can book a consultation with me at whisperingzenhypnotherapy.com. You can find me on a million social networks. Just look for Hypnofairy Godmother. That's where you're going to find me. So one last time, we're going to take a nice deep breath. Hold it. Exhale with a smile. Thank you for tuning in. Tell your friends about the show. I promise I will be back in 2 weeks. I'm sorry. I won't be back in 2 weeks. I'll actually be back next week because I care and because I want you to know that wherever you are, I'm there with you. So now that we've taken that deep breath, I want you to have a wonderful day and know that I'm out there with you. See you next week.